What sets my mic stands apart? First of all, they're light. They're light, they're aluminum. It's all machined aluminum. My name is Jason Dozer. I go by Dozer. I'm originally from Central City, Kentucky, Muhlenberg County, very small town, home of the Everly Brothers. And I started out in machining right out of high school. A lot of mic stand companies, there are other ones, they just do heavy. It just looks cool. But I think I've excelled because I make my stuff light and you can walk around with it and you can hold it out to the crowd. And you can't do that with most other mic stands. It's very cool to be able to make something for somebody that you've looked up to, and then you get to meet them. And so that's always cool. And now I've reached this point in my career where I'm reaching out to people that my kid loves. I make custom mic stands for everybody, for any guy that's in a cover band that plays 3 times a year. I'm making mic stands for those guys too. I offer the ability to put logos out front. I put logos on the bass, lights, different paint jobs, chrome, accessories, and it's gonna last. Anybody can have a mic stand. You don't have to be super famous. You don't have to be Prince. You can be in a tribute band. I make all kinds of tribute band mic stands. Cover bands, famous, not so famous. If you want to sing karaoke, you need a mic stand. Hit me up, metaldozer.com, Instagram, Metaldozer.
Well, tonight it's about the microphone stands. That's right. Tonight we're going to talk about microphone stands and a whole bunch more stuff with this guy, Jason Dozer, the owner, proprietor of a company called Metaldozer. It's a metalworks company. We'll talk about that tonight. He has some really cool clients. He gets to do some really cool stuff while he's out sharing his wares with these commission jobs that he has. He also has 2 really great tribute acts. He has a tribute act for a VanHalen tribute called 84, a tribute to Van Halen, as well as Excitable, a tribute to Def Leppard. And we're going to talk about that stuff tonight. He's also got another successful cover band called Moby Dick. And he was just telling me that this year they may be winding up 17 years together. So that's a really cool run. I know a lot of people that play in cover bands, and I don't know too many that have gone that long. So good on him for that. Well, without further ado, we're going to introduce him. His name is Jason Dozer. He's from Georgia. We're going to talk to him tonight. And here he is. Hey, Jason.
Hey.
Good to have you on the show, man.
Thank you. And I'm drinking my Metaldozer beer.
Oh, you
Pretty
got
cool.
Brand of beer now.
Yeah.
Can we order that online?
I wish. It's only available at this one brewery here in Atlanta called Lost Druid Brewery.
Oh, wow.
It's been pretty successful. They did it last year and decided to bring it back this year because it's been pretty popular. So maybe
now is it lager beer or what is it?
Yeah, it's called a citron lager, which it's a lager.
So it's like a summer kind of beer.
Right, yeah.
Cool. Can you send that in the mail?
I wish. I wish. But it's pretty
Metaldozer beer. Just hold that right up to the camera so we can get a good look at that. That is absolutely awesome. Who came up? Is that your artwork on there as well?
I was getting ready to say I made that statue for a local park, and then my son Leo did this artwork. So we decided it's like the new artwork for Metaldozer lately. So
right, and I saw that on your profile, that microphone.
Yeah.
That's a statue somewhere?
Yep, it's about a 6-foot tall stainless steel statue. Well, stainless and aluminum, and it's in Sewanee, Georgia, in their park, right in front of City Hall. It's really cool.
Now, it's on your Facebook, isn't it?
Yeah.
I will probably find it during the course of the conversation tonight because you make some really, really cool things like out of metal, and you don't just make microphone stands, right?
Right. Yeah. I try to cover, well, that spectrum of singing, but I also do some other things for, I do, some other little things. I haven't really gotten into the drumming hardware much, but I did some accessories for Troy Laketta when he was with Tesla. So that was kind of cool.
You started making microphone stands. How long ago did you start doing that?
I made my first one when it was about 04, 05. And then the first famous one was probably for Dream Theater in about 06, something like that.
So that was your first famous microphone stand was for Dream Theater?
Yeah. Yep.
And what was the theme on that? Do you remember?
It was Octavarium, so it was. I pulled it right out of their CD artwork at the time. It was an octagon with a star in the middle. So, yeah, I just did that, and off we went.
And how did that job come to you? Like, did somebody reach out to you from the band or what?
No, it was. I'd made one for myself being in a cover band at that time, and so I kind of realized there might be something to this, but I didn't do anything with it because I didn't have my own shop at the time. I was on the clock. So there was a guy in my cover band at the time whose cousin was drum tech for Portnoy, who was Dream Theater's drummer. And so they were coming through town and got us backstage, and that would have been enough. Just meeting Dream Theater backstage was amazing. But we're just standing in the hallway, and I'm talking to James, and I just said, I want to make you a mic stand. He said, I don't really use a mic stand, but okay, if it's free. And that was that.
And that was the beginning of a whole lot of other stuff to come.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So did that lead to another job?
Well, it led to. I mean, I'm finishing up a mic stand for him this week, so it led to a whole career of mic stands for Dream Theater. But even after that, I didn't really do a whole lot. I kind of worked with my brother after that, who was also he's an accomplished bike builder and metal worker. He kind of got me into all this, and so he has a shop, and we did one for Overkill because we're both huge fans of Overkill. So we just gave a free mic stand to Blitz. And after that, I was like, well, I'll just start a MySpace page just for the hell of it. And so I started a MySpace page, and a guy that worked for Marilyn Manson found me.
And so now Marilyn Manson, when did that come along? Was that earlier on as well?
Yeah, I mean, that was still, I guess, I don't really know when, but maybe 09, 2010, somewhere in there.
So you've been doing this for a while now. Do you get better at this as time goes on? Like,
I hope so.
where does the inspiration come from?
Just always trying to do better, I guess, is one. I don't like to keep doing the same thing. But if that's what people want, I'll do it. Like this thing that I came up with, and I don't know if I really came up with it, but it kind of borrowed, it's like from other people that had done it. But I kind of made it my own. This little 6-inch boom at the top, and like all the country girls love it right now. I made it for tons of these up and coming country people, but also for other people as well. Like I just made something similar for 21 Pilots. So
yeah, I'm going to show something here. If I can share the screen here. So just give me 2 seconds. I'm going to share the screen here because I want you to talk a little bit about this particular piece of work here, and we're going to share that there.
Avril,
and you can see Avril Lavigne. So tell us a little bit about that microphone stand. How did you get commissioned to do that, and what's the story behind it?
Sure. I've been doing LED stands for a while, but I've been doing them where they're only remote control. And so I've been asked to do several times, like for the Backstreet Boys and for the big bands, they want DMX control where the lighting guy at the back by the front of the house can operate it and make the mic stand do the exact same things as the stage, and that's what
Right.
DMX. And so I tried figuring it out and I tried making it work. But when I made the Backstreet Boys stuff, they sent me the LED tubes that were DMX controlled, and they were like, just the tubes were like $6,000 each or something. So it wasn't feasible, and it wasn't something I could just buy just to mess around with. So anyway, the LD, the lighting guy for Avril, found me. I don't know how he found me, if it was Google or if it was word of mouth, but he said, he told me what he wanted to make a DMX LED stand for her. And I said, I didn't really know how to do it. And he was like, oh, it's just these things. So he sent me all the things to buy, and it was fairly affordable just to buy those things. And then I brought it all together, and just, you have to be a machinist to make all that crap fit in that base. But I did. I made the battery, the DMX receiver, and I guess there's like a little control box that allows all of that to happen. And then it's got to plug into the LEDs. So that thing is portable. It was like maybe 9 or 10 pounds. It wasn't too bad. So she's able
So it's
to walk
Bluetooth control.
It's
Is it
LA
Bluetooth controlled?
I don't think that's Bluetooth. I don't really know how DMX works, but it's similar anyway.
So it's probably set up on a wireless setup because DMX usually runs off an XLR cable.
Right. It's definitely wireless DMX. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, very cool. That is really, really neat. Then you just built the one for her?
Yeah, just one. And then just immediately after that, somebody hit me up for Janet Jackson. They wanted 3. And so I made 3 of almost the exact same thing for them. And it's just,
wow,
they're so badass.
yeah, because now if I was looking at it right, it changes color, right?
Yeah. I share
Wow,
different,
that
but if you watch it live, it's just to see the whole stage change colors, and then the mic stand does it at the same time. It's unbelievable.
right now. Did you get to go to the live show and see that?
Yeah, we got to watch that.
That's really
I took Leo. We watched in front of house, which was pretty cool.
that must be so rewarding to see your handiwork up on the stage and functioning and all that stuff.
It feels really good. Yep.
Was there ever a moment where you went, please work, please don't malfunction?
Yeah, absolutely. Because of things that could go wrong, kind of stand, but he's had no problem.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts in there, isn't there?
Well, I don't know about moving parts, but a lot of hookups, a lot of wiring, and it's a lot of wiring.
That's crazy. And so you had to make a special plate to go on the bottom of the microphone stand to contain all of that stuff too, right?
It's like a sandwich, so it's holding everything inside. And then she wanted the lights to go all the way around the inside, and it says "motherfucking princess." So yeah, it says that around the side, and it's lit up, so it all lights up the same. It's amazing.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing. I watched some still photographs that you had of it on there, and I know you had it posted on your profile at some point in time, and I don't know exactly where to go and look for that because I wish I could show that to people
Yeah, it's easier
on
to
here.
find
So
on Instagram.
it's easier to find where?
On my Instagram. It's easier to find the videos and stuff.
Yeah, so go to is your Dozer on Instagram, right?
Metaldozer.
Metaldozer. So go to Metaldozer and you can follow him on Instagram and you can check it out there. You can check all his works out there. He has them all posted up there. You have a newer commissioned piece of work that you did. Were you working on something for Ringo Starr?
Yeah, I made a mic stand for him and the other drummer in his band, Greg Bissonette, matching stands for them.
And it was that a boom stand for him or a regular microphone stand?
So I do these pivoting mic stands for some drummers that usually come from back here and come over the head and then swing down. They didn't want that. Ringo's used to the one coming from the side, but it has to be long, it has to be heavy. And, you know, for for all drummers that sing, when you swing it over, you got to be careful because, you know, you could smash your teeth in. So I came up with a pivoting mic stand where you can adjust the stops. So down at the bottom, you can make this thing stop like right here. So your drum tech can be just back here and not even need to be careful. He can just swing it around and it's going to stop right where you want it to. And then when you swing it back, it's going to stop right back here instead of going all the way back around. So I've made those for Winona's drummers, for Pearl Jam's drummer, Disturbed drummer. It's getting pretty popular.
So if you're a drummer and you're watching this and you want a microphone stand made, reach out to Metaldozer. He makes them specifically for drummers. So very cool. You did some other work more recently as well. Now you got some older stuff that you did. You did some stuff a while back for Robert Plant as well.
Yeah, Robert Plant was probably like 2010, 2011, something like that. Long
So he
time
was
ago.
one of your early clients.
Yeah.
Was that a very basic microphone stand, or was it something specific you made for him?
Yeah, that was in the early days, and it actually must have been 2011 because I was broke. Like the recession had just put my back against a wall. I was in a really bad place. So I was still trying to make that work. But yeah, it was one of the front of house for Maryland Mansion. He jumped off that tour and went to go do Robert Plant. And so he was like, Robert would like a mic stand. So I made one for him. And it was pretty cheap. I could have used a little bit more money out of him. But I usually do my legs at a certain angle because I just have that set up for it. And he wanted, instead of, I think, 5 degrees, he wanted it 10 degrees. So I had to go back and make another one with 5-degree difference. I thought that was funny, but he wanted to put his foot under it so he could kick it up. But
so you could flip it up.
He only used it for one tour, and I don't know why he doesn't use it anymore. I don't know if it was stolen or he just didn't like it, but he used it for a tour.
Right. Has any of your microphone stands ever been stolen?
Oh yeah, plenty of them. Yep.
And did they ever turn up anywhere unusual?
I don't hear about them turning up, no, but yeah, I definitely get hit up to remake things sometimes.
Wow. So they go missing on a tour or something like that.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. You were recently at a Motley Crue event.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Louder Than Life over the weekend. I made stands for like 10 different bands for that festival. But I just made some for Motley Crue. They weren't using them at this show. They're using them for this. They're doing a charity thing next week where they're playing like not the Rainbow, but the Whiskey and a couple other clubs in Hollywood. And they're going to use like even being donated, and they're all going to sign it at the end. And so Vince is going to use one of my mic stands one night, another one another night, the last night, and he's going to sign them all. And I just shared the auction today, so it's posted. If you go on that link and click the mic, it shows my mic stands that I made for Vince. I don't know if you
Wow.
heard
And
Jay talking earlier, but we're having a struggle right now because the bases have been delivered to Hollywood and the poles are lost by the post office right now. So I may have to scramble and make 3 new poles tomorrow to ship out. So that's part of the job.
yeah, and you've had a super busy summer on top of the mic stands. You've been really busy with your tribute acts as well.
Yeah, yeah. Summers are always crazy for the tribute bands for sure. We play a lot, and you know
Is
what?
that
I
is that
play all over the southeast, all the way up to Illinois.
so you go all the way up to Chicago?
There, no, there's a town in Illinois, southwest of Chicago. We play that pretty much every year. We played Indianapolis a couple times this year, so it's a lot of driving.
Now, when you book those, do you play both tribute bands up there, or do you just book one?
I try to root. I try to make one tribute band play both nights, Friday and Saturday. Just makes it a whole lot easier on everybody.
Right. If you can get a two-nighter, that's way better for everybody.
Yeah, yeah. And that's another thing I'm getting tired of is booking. That's a whole nother job that I don't even talk about doing, but I book up till this year, I booked for 3 bands, you know,
Yeah, you
100
do. You
shows.
look after all the booking.
Yeah, that's exhausting just doing that.
Yeah. When you book the tribute acts, is there any specific special way of booking them? Like, do you negotiate riders or anything like that with each one, or is it just a specific verbal contract that you make with the owners of the venues?
It just depends on how well I know them. I mean, a lot of the local stuff, we don't do any contracts, but yeah, the bigger stuff, or yeah, we definitely do contracts.
And that always goes well. There not too many issues with that.
Oh, I never really have. I mean, maybe one show a year will be an issue, but it's never going to go perfect. Never.
Right. But you're doing all the booking for all of that stuff. You look after all of the ordering stuff for your microphone stand business.
Yep. And then doing
And
the
and
shows.
aside from building microphone stands, your metalworks business does other work as well, right?
Yep. Yep.
What kind of jobs do you do outside of the music genre?
Like the place, I rent a shop right now, and that landlord, I guess, has a big business for shot painting. They build these shot painting machines, and it's a lot of government work and stuff like that, and Boeing. And anyway, so they have big clients, and so I machine, and then I make these carts for the film industry, and I have like 4 carts to make right now. So I'm always backed up on that. I'm always backed up on mic stands. Yeah, it's a lot.
Well, I'm going to share another one here on the screen. Um, this is what we were talking about earlier.
Yep, and that was on a magazine, a local magazine. So
Now,
I thought
how big is that? Is that statue?
it's about 6 or 7 foot tall, something like that.
Right. And were you able to put that all together in the shop and then ship it, or does it have to go in pieces and be assembled?
It's 3-piece. It's the round base, and then the center piece, and then the top. It all had to be powder coated clear. I do like this stainless steel swirl, and so, but no, I loaded it up in my truck, and I mean I set it up.
So you set it up and put it there. Did it go on anything particular? Does it sit on a piece of concrete or?
They have like a big steel, like a 4 foot steel platform. They had this town, Sewanee. It's about 15 minutes from me, 10 or 15 minutes. But they have a huge, just gorgeous park full of artwork from people all over the country. And I was just lucky enough to be picked to do something. And I came up with that. I always wanted to do like an old school microphone.
Yeah, it looks like one of those Shure old school microphones.
Yeah, it's just my own take on it.
Very, very cool. And that has obviously a plaque that goes with it. Describes that you were the artist that made it.
Yeah, yeah.
Very, very cool. And so, is there any other stuff in your future? You think there's going to be other pieces commissioned for that kind of thing for other parks, or?
Yeah, I mean that same park is. They want me to. It's like a tunnel, and it's like come up with the idea for that, and I want to, but it's just I don't have time to even come up with an idea right now. So hopefully I can attack that in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, I think I'll do more of this kind of thing. I just need my other work to slow down at least a little bit. Hopefully taking Moby Dick
You also yeah, now so you think Moby Dick is going to be done this year?
Yeah.
Here's some more stuff here. I'm gonna put it up on the screen because it's just these things are really fabulous, man. I mean, you know, this must just seem so surreal for you when you look at this, and you look at who you end up rubbing elbows with when you get to show these things off. So there's Alva with her mic stand there, and I'm gonna cycle through there. It is working.
Yeah. That's just me.
That is like
hitting sliders.
That is so cool, man. That is like the neatest thing ever. You built a mic stand not long ago for Ann Wilson of Heart, right?
Yeah, that was bucket list for sure. Meeting her.
Yeah, that would have been a real cool meeting. So you got to meet her in person?
Yeah, I got to actually carry the mic stands in and into her dressing room and sit them in front of her and tell her how much I loved her.
Wow, that is like a dream come true for some people to be able to meet those individuals and you know
for sure,
and have them showing off your wares every night. I mean, that's like a what would a kind of like a postcard for a Metaldozer.
And that's old. I need to redo that because I've added probably 20 names since that.
I know. Look at all those people. Look at all those people. I've seen photographs of you with Joe Elliott.
Yeah.
He must have thought, not only does this guy make cool microphone stands, but he looks like me.
Yeah. I made him a stand and it was too light, which makes no sense to me. You know, 99 times out of 100, people want a light mic stand, and I made him one, and he didn't like it, so I think he only used it like maybe one show. So I guess it's sitting in storage somewhere.
Now, when you build these out of aluminum, is it a special type of aluminum that you build them out of?
Typically just 61. It's a pretty standard.
So it's not like an aircraft style aluminum.
No.
61. And so how many pounds would the sorry?
60. It's called 6061 is the code for that. For that kind of aluminum. It's just it's a really strong, it's a really good alloy for aluminum. It's strong, it's easy to work with, it's easy to machine, and it doesn't bend too much. So
And does it polish up really nice as well?
Yeah, it definitely does.
And what do you use to give it a nice shine? Like, do you have to use like special sandpapers or special compounds to shine it up?
You just, sand it like in increasing, all the way up to 400, 500, 600. You just buff it. It holds really well. It doesn't hold like chrome, but it holds really well. And like the Jonas Brothers, we didn't have time to do chrome. So I said, I can just get these polished and they'll be fine. And if you want to send them back at the end of the tour and we can get them chromed or whatever, but they've just been using them for like at least a year now. So I
Wow.
guess they're.
So I guess that there wasn't a problem with it after all. They probably really liked that.
Yeah, I mean, you can, like, if they wanted to, they could take it to anybody on the road right now and just have them buff it or buy one of those buffing wheels, from AutoZone or whatever, and just buff it. Then, well, of course, they wouldn't buff it, but, like, one of the techs wanted to buff
Right.
it, then good. So,
Tell us about that one there with the snake on it.
yeah, I made that. I 3D printed that, which was a beast. It was in probably 4 pieces, and I just thought it'd be really cool to make. I still have the file for it, but I sold that one, and I haven't printed another one until I get an order.
Right. And what? So was it made for anybody particular, that one?
No, I pitched it to Whitesnake when they hit me up to make one, but they didn't want it.
Is that a special cart too?
Yeah, that's a small cart that I made.
So you don't just make microphone stands; you build other stuff that other people commission you to build for them.
Correct. Yeah, the carts. The reason I do carts and I do so many is because I'll weld them up custom. I won't just do the same. There's this product called 80/20, which is aluminum extrusion that you can bolt together to make carts. But it gets over time and it's really heavy. So that's why I'm in business. I'll make exactly what they want, and it'll be light.
And you built strong. That one we were looking at there was for Kevin Hart. That's so cool.
The gold one, yeah. I made.
Did you get to meet him as well?
Yeah.
There's Metaldozer beer. He even has his own brand of beer. How cool is that?
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
If you're watching the show and you got a question for Jason, you can pop it up in the chat room. If you're on Facebook, I'm watching on there. So if you have a question, you can drop it in there as well. We have Jason Dozer, otherwise known as the mic stand guy, on the show with us tonight. And we're talking about his work building custom mic stands. And he's just about built a mic stand for almost anybody and everybody in the industry. Is there anybody on your bucket list?
Yeah,
still?
I think you asked before, but it's Iron Maiden. Yeah, Bruce Dickinson, for sure.
So Iron Maiden. Now you haven't talked to them yet.
Yeah, I mean they know about me. I've had people. He just did a solo tour, and I'm friends with his drummer, and his drummer tried to make it happen, but he didn't have any interest. So.
Yeah, Iron Maiden's going on tour next year, so hopefully, maybe, hey?
I hope so.
Well, maybe you have to do the same thing that you did to get Hook Dream Theater.
It was offered. I told him it would be for free.
Right.
Yeah.
And he said no.
He didn't say anything from what I was told. He just, because, I mean, the solo band they're not on the same level. And I don't mean that in any mean way, but you're not going to say, come on, Bruce, come on. Hey, give this guy. You're going to say, hey, here's this.
Come on, Bruce, let me build you a mic stand. Come on.
He would like to make this for you. Take it or leave it. I'm sure that's the way it went down, and that's cool, and I appreciate that. but it didn't happen. And it would have been really cool because the artwork on his last tour, it was like perfect for a mic stand. Very cool round.
You
know.
you also make a lot of mic stands that are for handhelds as well that look like brass knuckles.
Yeah, I do a lot of the knuckles. Yeah.
And is that a pretty popular thing for vocalists as well?
Yeah, it has been. And I have new designs I have to patent before I release them because somebody tried stealing one of my basic ones. So now I have to go finish that patent and then get this other patent going before I can release my new design. But it's going to be cool.
Right. Michelle's got a question here. She wants to know if you met Joe Elliott in person.
Yeah, a couple of times. Yep.
Does he know you do it? Go ahead.
Yeah, I told him I do a tribute band. He doesn't seem to care about tribute bands. He's like John Bon Jovi. He's just like thinks they're rubbish, I'm sure. Oh well.
Very. So you met him. Where did you meet him while he was on tour, or how did that go?
Yeah, the first time it was really a trip because I'd never seen I'd never seen Def Leppard before, and I was doing a Def Leppard tribute band for several years at the time. So one of our like really uber fans offered to buy me a VIP meet and greet for Def Leppard, which was insane, but I wasn't going to turn it down. And so that was the first time I met him. And then another time I met him, I had become friends with Troy Laketta from Tesla. And he had just happened to see our show one night, and he came up to me after the show and said, you guys are amazing. I've been texting Phil Cullen about your show all night. And so it was like really cool. And so Troy was awesome. He's still a good friend. And but Tesla was opening for Def Leppard, and he took me backstage and he said, "Okay, you stand here. I'm gonna go get Joe." So he went and got Joe, and Joe came back, and we took a picture together.
Nice.
Yeah.
Was that a surreal moment for you?
Yeah. I mean, it was very cool. I don't get starstruck very often anymore, but that was definitely very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, because you've met a whole host of people now.
Yeah, I met a lot of people. It's different when they're your idols, like James LaBrie was definitely one of my idols. And I was so close. And, I made David Coverdale's mic stand, and I knew when he was going to go on tour, I was going to get to meet him. And then he just canceled the whole tour and retired. It was like, I was this close to meeting David Coverdale.
You also built a mic stand for Mitch Malloy.
Yeah, when he joined Great White.
Right, when he was singing for Great White. Yep. And I noticed that. I saw that up there as well. I'm going to share this one this one here. I think this is a good one to show. This is a version of your tribute act, 84, a tribute to Van Halen.
Yep.
And that pose there is very, very similar to an actual Van Halen pose.
Oh yeah, we stole it.
Which one of those two has your heart the most? I mean, you like both of those bands, right?
Yeah, but Van Halen hands down. I mean, it's not even close.
Right. And do you really like emulating Roth, eh?
Oh, love it. Yeah.
I mean, you channel him really well. I've seen some of your clips. You channel him really, really well, and I would love to go to see one of your shows because I think you channel him really well. I haven't seen the Def Leppard ones as much, but I've seen the Van Halen ones, and the Dave, right down to the Dave Sickle.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody
And
else has.
yeah, you built that, right?
Yep, yep. That's one of the perks.
I mean, it would be so cool if David Lee Roth were to see you with the Dave sickle.
I know, and I was this
I
close
think
to being rough too.
I think he'd be tickled to see that because you know, that is one of the renditions of Van Halen. You know, for those of us that cut our teeth on Van Halen in the early days, um, you know, we didn't consider Van Halen to be the same band when Sammy Hagar joined the band.
Right. Yeah.
It's kind of like diehard fans who watched, who followed AC/DC's career with Bon Scott, and then Brian Johnson comes on the scene with Back in Black, and
Yeah.
I saw them both. I saw them both, and they're like night and day. They're two completely different frontmen.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
You know, I think channeling David Lee Roth would be a lot of fun though, because it's such a flamboyant character.
It's interesting to me because it flows. I mean, even from the first time I started doing it, it's just like I don't even have to think about it. I have this thing about even in the cover band where when I'm doing like Rebel Yell, Billy Idol, it's just natural for me to emulate and do the things that I don't even think about it. But especially with David Lee Roth, it's like, gosh, it just flows out of me. Just it's like it's a part. I love the guy.
And when
I
you're
mean, that's
and when you're at a show, do you stay in character the whole evening?
no, I mean just on stage. Yeah,
Just
I'll
on stage,
and take pictures with everybody. I love it.
right? Yeah, because I mean that part of it would be really cool as well. I'm sure there's a lot of people that go to your shows that love that part of Van Halen and want to get their picture taken with you.
Yeah,
There's some you guys do some really really cool stuff. Um, you get to do some really really cool stuff, which I think is really really neat in terms of the places that you get to go and the things that you get to do. Um, I'm going to share this one up here as well. This is a cool one here as well. Um, Tell us a little bit about this particular photograph here.
oh, that's excitable. Yeah, that's the Def Leppard. So I got Billy Gray there on the right, who's with Fozzy, and then next to him is Victor, who is with Lost Hearts. And then on the back left there is Ricky Thrash, who he played with Steel Panther for a little while. And we just all ended up here in Atlanta, and we have like a killer Def Leppard tribute now.
Yeah, because now, how did you meet Victor?
Victor had just moved here from Brazil at that time. And he was just kind of hanging out up here at 37 Main, which is a local bar. And I saw him. I think he got up to jam with somebody. It was like, this is great. I love this guy. And he looks like Vivian Campbell. So it was a slam dunk.
He's such a nice guy. He's a family friend of ours.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
And very very nice young man. Very talented musician.
Yep, absolutely.
We're actually talking about now that things have moved forward a little bit more for Victor. We're actually thinking about seeing if we can get Lost Hearts to come up here to Ontario and tour throughout Ontario.
I'm sure they would love to do that. Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool clubs, up in this area where we live, from Detroit all the way up to Toronto. It's about a 4-hour corridor in there, and a ton of cities along there with a whole lot of different clubs. And we thought it'd be really cool if we could get them to come to Canada and play up here.
Yeah, we need 84 to do it too.
What's that?
We'll do 84 and Lost Hearts tour. That's what
Well, you know what? I think we could probably get an 84 gig and an Excitable gig up here, back to back at the London Music Hall. It's a nice, big, beautiful hall with a fantastic presentation. Do you guys, when you guys do your shows, do you have visual backdrops and stuff like that? Did you use?
Yeah, definitely.
Is it like, is it static backdrops, or are you using stuff that's actually moving behind you?
Oh, like 84's just got like the big banner. We don't have one for Excitable right now, but I bring we got pop-up stages and lights and, the side banners and all that junk. So it's pretty cool.
Right. You know what'd be really, really cool? We should talk about that. We should talk about seeing if we could get you guys to come up here and do a back-to-back show at the London Music Hall. Because I think something like that would go over really, really well. London's about 500,000 people.
Yeah.
And the surrounding area, with all the towns surrounding the area that are within driving distance of London, there's a lot of fans that would probably love to see a really good show like that.
I would love to. I love doing stuff like that.
Yeah. So, maybe we have to talk about that, see if we can make that happen. That would be really, really cool.
Oh yeah.
And given the fact that if Victor and is it Max, right? Come up here. There's part of your band's right there already, if they're already up here touring.
That's right. Yeah.
So that we could make that happen. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see. Let's definitely talk about that. Where are you playing your most recent dates? What do you got coming up?
I'm local this weekend, thank God. So I got one show like right down the road here from me, and then another one maybe 20 minutes. So it's wonderful.
And whereabouts are you exactly in Georgia? What's the name of the town you're in Georgia?
Sugar Hill.
Sugar Hill.
Yeah, it counts as a suburb of Atlanta, but it's really far out from Atlanta. It's probably 45 minutes from Atlanta.
Right. So you're just playing down the road at a club this weekend?
Yeah. Yeah.
And playing both Friday and Saturday night?
Oh, it's two different clubs I'm at.
And which act is it?
84 for both nights.
84 for both nights. Is 84 the most popular one to get booked?
It's honestly about the same. Yeah. It's kind of crazy. You would think VanHalen would just be like way more popular, but it's not. It's about the same.
Right. And are these all clubs that you play at, or are they different venues?
Clubs and theaters and some private parties.
Did you do any cool backyard parties this year?
We got one coming up in a couple of weeks. It's going to be crazy.
Is it like a big corporate event, or is it just a private party in someone's backyard?
It's going to be a big backyard.
Wow.
They're going over the top with this. We're getting full on production. It's somebody is turning. It's a couple, and one of them's turning 51, and the other one's turning 50. To do a 5150 party, so we're going to be doing our normal David Lee Roth stuff, but I'm going to throw in some new some Sammy Hagar. So that should be
nice. Fun. A 5150 show. That's really cool.
Really good idea. Yep.
Yeah, it's a great idea. It's a great idea. So anybody out there that's turning 50 or 51, these guys do 50-51 parties for you.
Because I look more like Sammy than anything else, but I like
well, I don't know. I mean, I look at pictures of you as David Lee Roth, and I mean, you make a great Joe Elliott too. I mean, there's no doubt about that you make a great Joe Elliott in terms of definitely looks, and I'm sure you put on the whole persona for each of those shows, which is really, really cool.
Yep.
I'm just while I'm digging here, I'm digging madly while we're talking. Oh, here it is. This is a good one. This is probably one of the best adverts I've seen for a tribute band yet. It's not an actual video, but it's a still shot, which I think is really, really a great shot. And that's full on David Lee Roth right there, man. I mean, that is the full Monty there.
Yep, for sure. And if you looked at that drum right back there, that was my old drummer, but I mean, that looks like Van Halen right there.
It does. It looks like a whole Van Halen setup. And the cool thing about that, doing those tributes, how many outfits do you wear a night when you do those shows?
I usually just change shirts. It takes way too long to change the pants because of the boots and everything. So I just change shirts usually 3 or 4 times.
And so you'll change 3 or 4 times throughout the night.
Yeah.
And where is your favorite place to play?
Oh, wow. I don't know. I love House of Blues in Myrtle Beach. That's one of my favorites for sure. Because we just pack it out and it's just so much fun. It's, professional sound. We always have a blast there.
House of Blues in Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, I love a big stage. I'm never standing. Yeah.
What's your most unusual gig that you've ever had?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, with the cover band, I've done some pretty lame parties, I guess. Unusual gigs. I don't know. I'd have to think about that.
All right. Well, something to think about, because I mean these are, if you could play any place in the U.S., is there a place in the U.S. that you would like to play that you've never played?
Oh, Red Rocks for sure. As far as, pretty big level, but, obviously every musician's dream would probably be to play, Madison Square Garden or something like that.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I know a couple of guys that do tribute acts. One of my friends, Doug Vardy, does Rod Stewart, and he plays all over the place. I think he's played Red Rocks, if I'm not mistaken.
I bet, yeah.
And he also does a Bryan Adams tribute as well. And then there's Cam, who does a full Petty Fever, which is a Tom Petty tribute, and they have the full on the backdrop, and it's all playing and moving behind them while the show is on.
Nice.
Like a full production show. And when they play, they book all these theaters where they can put on that kind of a production when they do their shows.
Yeah, that's next level. Sure.
Yeah, I mean that's an interesting. That's why I asked you if you guys have ever thought about going and doing something like that with your shows, because you guys have got some really, really great presence on the stage. I mean, the guys all do their best and try to dress the part for the band, to put on a great presentation for people that are fans of those particular bands. I mean, you guys aren't there just trying to imitate them. You're trying to emulate those bands.
Yeah, for sure. And I would love to get to that point, but there's like a push and pull with me with my work, and I just don't know if I could give myself to that kind of schedule where you're going out Thursday morning and not coming home till Sunday. It would be fun. I would love it, but I don't know that my business could keep going. So I can't
it's tough to do it when you're trying to run a business, right?
Exactly. Right now I can take off Friday morning and, I can come in on Sunday if I need to. But when you're doing those kind of runs, all across the country, you're going to be gone for 4, 5, 6 days at a time. And I just can't do that right now. So I can't really commit to going all in with all that, unfortunately.
Right. When you guys are playing those continental shows, is it all driving, or do you fly at any of those shows?
It's pretty much all driving. Yeah. I fly sometimes. but
Right.
I'll get the guys to carry the data sickle. But yeah, we usually drive. But sometimes if work is killing me, I have to fly. I just can't get out that quick.
Yeah, because if you're going all the way up to Illinois, that's a long way to go.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever played the St. Charles Theater?
I don't guess so. No.
Oh, that would be a great place for you guys to consider playing. St. Charles is just about an hour. I got about an hour west of Chicago, and they've got a beautiful theater there that used to be, back in the day, was a speakeasy.
Oh, okay.
It's I can't remember how big the theater is. I think it's like 1,200 seats or something like that.
That wouldn't be bad at all.
Yeah, it's a big, beautiful theater, and they have like 3 other clubs in the theater itself, and they often will book tribute acts like you guys there, and they have full production there. So, basically, you guys, do you guys travel with your back line, or do you guys rent back lines where you go?
No, we usually travel with it. It's pretty specific with the gear, so we have to.
Yeah, so I mean, you guys go up to Illinois, so St. Charles is probably not that much further than you've been up there to play, and so that might be another opportunity for you guys to play, at least within the continental United States. Much easier that way, because coming to Canada, we'd have to work to get you those work permits. I don't think that'd be too difficult to do, though.
No, it wouldn't be anything.
Well, I'm game, and I think we should talk about it and see if we can make it happen. And I know you're really, really busy the rest of this year, but there's always next year, and planning towards next year and making something happen. I know that I'd love to see bands like Lost Hearts come up here and play. There's 2 of your players right there. So it wouldn't be much to bring the rest of the guys and meet up here and do a couple of shows up here. It would be kind of fun, actually.
Yeah, I would love it.
And Moby Dick, that you think is going to wind down this year, and it is not what everybody thinks. When you hear the word Moby Dick, people think of Led Zeppelin, but it's not a Led Zeppelin tribute. It's a cover band.
Right.
And is it top 40, or what kind of music does Moby Dick play?
Almost exclusively 80s pop and rock, but we also added in other stuff. But it was always the core 20 songs, and then we would just kind of plug some in here and there, take some away. A lot of Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses and Poison, but we do some Neil Diamond and Rick's, obviously Jesse's Girl, a lot of the standard pop and rock stuff.
Right. And you think this is going to wind down this year after 17 years?
I mean, it doesn't have to, but I want a weekend off. So it's not worth it to me anymore to book. And I have been. I've done it for a long time now. I don't need to play every weekend, but I've done it for various members of the band, and I just can't do it anymore. I'm about to turn 50, and I need to think of me a little bit and not try to book 100 shows a year.
Right. You lead an interesting life, my friend. I really love having you on the show. I think you always have some great things to talk about. Jason Dozer, the mic stand guy of Metaldozer, Metalworks, and he has made microphone stands for anybody and everybody in the business. His one of the guys on his bucket list is Bruce Dickinson. So if somebody out there has some pull to convince Bruce that he should have one of Jason's mic stands for their tour next year, I think that'd be a great idea. 2 great tribute acts: VanHalen, the '84 tribute to VanHalen, Excitable tribute to Def Leppard. If you haven't seen these guys, when they come up into the northern states, it's definitely worth a trip to go down and see them. You can go to I'll put the links to their respective pages on Facebook, so you can check it out there. They have all their dates up there. Jason's the guy that does all the booking. I don't know, maybe he needs a professional booking agent. So give him a day off.
Yeah, for sure.
That would help out a big deal for you, right?
Yeah, that's what I need.
Well, thanks for joining us tonight, Jason. Much appreciated. Thank you again for being part of the show. This has been the Indie Show. That is Jason Dozer over there.